Hey there, crafty friends, it's Tina from the Scrappin Rabbit blog. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. In today's video, we're going to be creating two spooky Halloween cards featuring some dies from Scrappy Tails Crafts and two different ink blended backgrounds. So let's get started. The products that I'm going to be using again are from Scrappy Tails Crafts, and the A7 Witch on a Hill cover plate die is amazing. There's so much potential with that die. I'm also going to be using the Spooky Ghosts die because I think that they look so cool. I do have a video with the witches if you want to go ahead and check that out, but again, we're focusing on the ghosts. So to do this full moon ink blended background, I cut out a circle die. And I did it with some sticker paper, so it's a lot more affordable than masking paper. And I went ahead and grabbed my Distress Oxide inks, and I grabbed an assortment of blues because I don't have all the colors in the oxides. I have the little mini cubes with most of the colors, but for backgrounds I really love to, for big backgrounds at least, I really love to use the oxides. I have the newer Uncharted Mariner blue, and I wanted to see how that would look in this night sky. I also used the prize ribbon, which is not, these are not normal colors that I would use for sky, but again, I'm adventuring into a new color combo, and I really like how it turned out. For the dark blue, I grabbed the Faded Jeans because I know that that one looks really good in a sky background. And of course, I also used the Black Soot. So those are the colors that I used in this combination. And once I had my first layer down, I went ahead and went over it again with a second layer and just blending them out, trying to make sure that there's no harsh lines. But I wanted that light color right around the circle die to give it sort of a glow. So the black is a little bit messy, so I grabbed a little piece of post-it note to keep my fingers from getting too inked up. And now that I have the black down, I'm going to go ahead in that reverse order the Faded Jeans and just kind of blend through again all of the different blues. And I really love the way that it turned out. It does look better, I think, in person than it did in the photos that I took because you could really see all the different colors in that. For a second background, I grabbed some greens, and again the Uncharted Mariner, and I just was experimenting. Same thing, I cut out that circle with the sticker paper, and I started out with the Twisted Citron to kind of have that glow, and I went around it with the only green that I have, and I try to get my inks when they're on sale, and so I'm just kind of waiting for additional colors to go on sale so that I could add to my collection. But I have the Evergreen Bow, and that is going to be blended out with the new Uncharted Mariner. And I did grab the Faded Jeans again. I did not use the prize ribbon in this combination, but I like the way that it looked because it has that Halloween glow, you know, the cauldron type of a feeling with the spooky bubbly green. So that's kind of what's going on in this guy. This one took me a little bit more time to lay all the colors because I did want to make sure that I was blending appropriately so that I didn't mix and get any mud type colors, because that can happen if you go the wrong way with some of your blends. So this is the Faded Jeans, and then it all comes together once I add the final color, the Black Soot. And I do like the way that it's glowing, and I think that it makes for an interesting background, a new color combination that I'm just trying out for these backgrounds. Halloween is one of my favorite themes to craft with, and of course I do love to do my inked backgrounds. So as you can see, it's starting to come together with the black, and I do know that I'm going to be putting the dies over it as well. That's going to cover up a large part of the sky. So I'm not being incredibly careful, and I'm not looking for the smoothest blend. It is going to be a night sky, so it's going to be a little bit on the patchy side, and that is actually okay with me. So that is my little glowy background, and again, I think it turned out so cool. So now I'm going to add some splatter to the backgrounds. I like to use my Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. It's a spray that has lasted me for years because basically all I do is splatter with it, and I really love the way that it looks over the inked backgrounds. So I'm going to do that to both of the backgrounds and then set them aside to dry completely. I went ahead and cut out frames for the cards, and so this is what it looks like when you cut it out. You get the spider web in the corner and the headstones across the bottom. I also grabbed some white shimmery paper. I'm trying to show it shimmer there in the camera. It's a little bit hard to see. And I went ahead and cut out the ghosts, and I really love that they have that sparkle to it. So these cards came out pretty spooky, but they're not too feminine. So even though the ghosts are a little on the sparkly side, these could definitely be used for masculine or just general cards. I'm going to go ahead and trim out some black cardstock to glue behind the mouth and eyes of each one of the ghosts. And so just cutting out the little rectangles, and then I can shape it so that as I glue it down, none of the black is peeking around the edge. It's just behind the mouth and the eyes. And I love the way that that looks. You can leave them open. That's kind of spooky as well. I did want it more defined, which is why I went ahead and grabbed the black cardstock to glue behind each one of their little faces. So once I have that done, I can go ahead and find a sentiment for my card. So I went ahead and grabbed the new Witch's Brew stamps, which is an awesome set. And there's this really large sentiment, which fits perfectly on my moon. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that stamp, and then I'm going to prep my paper. So you can see how stark white that moon is, and I'm just going to add that powder over the top and place the sentiment in the center and use my VersaFine black ink. And I'm going to stamp it a few times. When you have all that powder on there, it does take a couple impressions to get all the ink on there evenly. And then I'm going to grab some clear embossing powder and make sure that I have good coverage over the sentiment, heat my heat tool nice and hot, and then melt that down. I love, love, love the way a embossed sentiment looks on a card, especially on the moon like that. I went ahead and grabbed some scratch paper and cut out the circle to use as a mask, and I'm going to grab the Hickory Smoke Distress ink. This pad is super juicy, so I'm really trying to just get a sparing amount on that tiny brush just to get a little bit of that gray around so that the moon isn't so stark white. And I think that it turned out so amazing. So that first background, I can't decide which one's my favorite, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. I grabbed an A7 5x7 sized card base, and I'm going to grab my liquid glue and get some good coverage across the back and add that to the front of my card base. So then I'm going to go ahead and grab the frame that has the spider web and the headstones and add some liquid glue to that as well, and center that the best that I can over across my card. Liquid glue really helps you to get your die exactly where you want it. And now it's just time to place all of the little ghosts. I went ahead and also cut out the 3 bats that come with this Witch on a Hill cover plate die. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want everything to look. And so I'm going to use just 2 ghosts on each card and use my tweezers to help me pick everything up and then glue them flat onto the card. So there's some great pop-up dies in the shop. This is a flat card, and I really love the way that this turned out, but there's so many different ways that you could put together these dies for your cards. So here is the finished card, and I'm just tilting it in the light so you can see the glowy effect of the moon, the sparkly ghosts, and the little drops in the background. the colors are definitely more vibrant in person. So I went ahead and finished that second card off camera, and I basically did the same thing. But so you tell me, which background do you prefer? Do you like the glowy greens and the yellowy green around the moon, or just the traditional blues? Well, that completes my 2 cards for today. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. All the links for the products that I use can be found in the description box below. Thank you so much again for stopping by. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.